Title: The Devil's Guest, 1973, Black Hollow, West Virginia. In the autumn of 1973, the Holloway family moved into an old farmhouse on the outskirts of Black Hollow, West Virginia. The house had stood empty for decades, its previous owners having vanished without a trace. The locals avoided the property, whispering of dark things that lurked within its walls. But George Holloway, a stubborn man with no patience for superstition, dismissed the rumors. He had bought the house for cheap, and that was all that mattered. The first few nights were uneventful. The creaking wood, the howling wind, just an old house settling, nothing more. But then came the knocks. At first they were soft, three rhythmic taps at midnight, always at midnight. George assumed it was a loose shutter or some animal against the walls. But when he went outside with a flashlight, the night was still, too still. Then the whispers began. Maggie, George's wife, was the first to hear them. Faint voices slithering through the air vents, murmuring just beyond understanding. She thought it was the wind at first, until one night she woke up to a voice whispering right beside her ear, "Let me in." She turned on the lamp, heart pounding. George was snoring beside her. The room was empty. The next morning, Maggie noticed something strange. The wooden door to the basement, which had been nailed shut when they moved in, was slightly ajar. A deep, musky scent drifted up from the darkness below. She called George. Together, they pried open the door, revealing a narrow wooden staircase leading into a pitch black basement. The air was wrong down there, thick and heavy, like a breathing thing. And then they saw the symbols. Carved deep into the stone walls were ancient twisted ruins. In the center of the floor, an iron circle had been burned into the wood. Inside that circle, the remains of bones, some human, some unidentifiable, lay in a perfect, untouched ring. The room felt hungry. George, ever the skeptic, scoffed, "Some damn occult freak lived here before. That's all." He kicked at the bones and stormed back upstairs. That night the knocking turned into pounding. The walls shook, the whispers turned into screams. The whole house groaned as if something was pressing in from the outside. Maggie begged George to leave, but he refused. "It's just a damn wind," he growled. Then the baby monitor cracked to life. Their infant daughter, Lily, had been asleep upstairs, but through the monitor they heard something else in the room with her. A wet, guttural breathing. Then a voice, low, inhuman, ancient. "Mine." George ran up the stairs. He threw open the nursery door and froze. Standing over Lily's crib was a figure, tall, emaciated, skin stretched too tight over blackened bones, eyes like burning coals, a mouth too wide, grinning with jagged teeth. It turned its head unnaturally slow and stared at George. Then it spoke. "You broke the circle." A shadow exploded from its body, filling the room. The walls blackened as if burned by invisible fire. George screamed as an invisible force threw him against the wall. Maggie ran in, snatched Lily, and bolted from the door. The whole house shook violently. The temperature plummeted. From every vent, every crack, In the wood, whispers poured out, thousands of voices chanting in a language not meant for human ears. George crawled toward the door, but the shadowy tendrils wrapped around his ankles, dragging him back toward the basement. No, Maggie shrieked. Georgie's fingers dug into the floorboards, his nails ripped off as he tried to hold on. He looked up at Maggie, eyes wide with terror. Take Lily and run. Then the shadows swallowed him whole. The house felt silent. Maggie didn't stop running. She ran into the woods, clutching Lily, never looking back. Aftermath. When the police arrived, they found the house untouched. No signs of struggle, no sign of George Holloway, but in the basement the iron circle was gone. The symbols on the wall had been recarved, deeper than before, and in the center of the room, a single word had been etched into the stone. Satisfied. Maggie and Lily never returned. The house remained empty, abandoned. But the locals say that if you walk past the old Holloway place at night, you can still hear the knocking. Three knocks, always at midnight. And if you listen closely, a voice will whisper from the darkness, let me in. The end.